Hello everyone, I am Gary Jourdan, PhD student in Geography at the University of Namur in Belgium. I thank London Livable Cities Conference for this opportunity to present my work on household adaptive capacity to earthquakes, the case of the town of Anse-à-Veau in Haiti. What is the context of this study? In August of 14, 2021, the southern part of the country, the southern peninsula, recorded an earthquake measuring 7.2 at Richter scale, which killed more than 2,000 people and caused more than 12,000 injured. Fortunately, no deaths were recorded in the town of Anse-à-Veau despite the house's collapse. As you can see it, Anse-à-Veau is a little town in the Nip department of Haiti. There are two trends in adaptability of poor people. The first one is powerlessness, where poor people are considered more likely to fall victim to natural catastrophes than richer people. In the same vein, the lack of financial resources constitute a barrier for poor people to cope with risk. The second trend is capabilities. In this trend, the local population are seen as to be able to cope to natural hazard based on the knowledge of the environment. A study on Seattle, Osaka, and Izmir has shown that low-cost measures are preferred by people to deal with risk. Adaptive capacity definition and generations of research. There are several definitions of adaptive capacity, but in this study, adaptive capacity is defined as the ability of household to anticipate, to cope, to recover, and to prepare for a future earthquake. There is two there are two generations of adaptive capacity research. The first generation put emphasis on method, on theory and method. The focus is to categorize and specialize adaptive capacity. This kind of research permitted to show which countries have high adaptive capacity and which countries have low adaptive capacity and so on. The second generation put emphasis on assessment and mobilization, and the focus is psychosocial factors to assess adaptive capacity itself. How to explore adaptive capacity to the 2021 earthquake in the town of Anse-à-Veau. Firstly, according to the definition above and the disaster circle, four components such anticipating before the earthquake, coping during the earthquake, recovering after the earthquake, and preparing for the future in terms of prevention for a future event were identified to conceptualize adaptive capacity to earthquake. Secondly, we try to see how determinants such perception, action, resource, the support contribute to increase each component of adaptive capacity. Um, Data and method. Selection data semi-structured interview were conducted in the study area in December 2021, 4 months after the earthquake. Say 47 households heard gave kindly to us an interview about the situation. In respect to data analysis, firstly, we coded all interviews by using in vivo 14 in the fourth component of adaptive capacity identified. Secondly, several terms emerge from selected determinant. And finally, the interview narratives were analyzed in the perspective to answer to the research question. In this slide, we are going to see the contribution of perception in each component of household adaptive capacity. Households adaptive capacity perception. The perception is widely influenced by earthquake experience. In this study, most respondents were experienced on earthquake directly or indirectly in the life before the one of 2021. And for coping, it seemed that experience contribute to recognize easily the tremor when the 2021 earthquake occurred. This recognition of the shake could facilitate people to act appropriately during the earthquake. However, respondents were worried about the way to recover because the uncertainty related to earthquake and all the problems that they face in the community. In the same way, the perception of the future were currently negative. This is due to the lack of opportunity of the area. Only a minority of respondents think they have a good future in the town. They say that because of the education level or the activities that they have in the community. Now let's see how actions contribute to each component of adaptive capacity. Actions emerge as very important in all components of household adaptive capacity. Before the earthquake, actions took form of raising awareness about survival skills. These activities enabled the people to acquire knowledge about how to survive in the event of an earthquake. During the earthquake, The respondent that report that they act appropriately to protect the lives by using at least one of survival technique, especially get out of the house. Let's see what a woman said about action to survive. A good strategy when there is an earthquake is to lay down on the table or by the door. As far as the recovery actions are concerned with resourcefulness, it was in the first place because people used to do something to live in everyday life despite the lack of resources. Looking for the future, the people interviewed think they can apply survival skills as non-structural measure, and some of them think to rebuild better to make the house resistant to earthquake. In this slide, we will see uh, the place of resources uh, in, in each component of adaptive capacity. Um, Before the earthquake, respondents thought that they have not sufficient resources to face an earthquake. However, most of them evoked some spiritual, human, and physical resources mobilized during the last earthquake. For example, the housing type played a significant role in the people protection. Let's see what said a man about the physical resource. What I did was that I was alive. The advantage I had, I don't know. We are a poor one. We didn't have the possibility to make a great house. What I can say, save us from the misfortune because we weren't in the great house. This respondent think that the simple house uh, that this simple house was a way for him to 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 save his life during the last earthquake. In the recovery stage, people referred currently to the personal or family resource to recover from the situation. This man said, primary resource, I'm a professional. When I make my 50 goods, I eat 25 and I leave the other 25 goods. This man count on his saving to recover to the earthquake disaster. The the respondents think that they can count on the personal resource to get prepared for a future event. In this slide, we are going to see the contribution of support and the component of household capacity. Household adaptive capacity support. The support took from awareness activities undertaken by NGO in the community before the earthquake. The problem, these activities were uh, insufficient and irregular to lead to a real people adaptive capacity. However, family and neighbor support were very important for saving life of some people during the earthquake. In the recovery stage, the Catholic Church and NGOs emerged as very important for people in terms of survival kits. For the future, many respondents think to involve in awareness, alert, and solidarity with others in the case of earthquake. What have we learned about household adaptive capacity? Components such as capacity to cope and capacity to recover contributed mostly to the household's adaptive capacity to the 2021 earthquake in the town of Anse-à-Veau. Weighting these two components, determinants relate to actions to survive and resource in terms of knowledge and means to recover were more significant for households. Financial resources were not really a barrier for households to cope with earthquake, but they are important to recover from it. Household held perceived actions and resources as very important to be prepared for a future event in the town of Anse-à-Veau. I take this opportunity to thank my supervisor, Sabine Henry, for all her support in this work. I thank the co-authors of this paper, Florence de Longueville and Wistigegist, and I thank also all institutions that contribute to this study. And I thank the respondents that accept to give us an interview about the situation of the earthquake. Thank you very much for your attention.